Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a few weeks since Trump won the election and is now president-elect, but we are still seeing many cases of TDS, which I believe needs to be added to the DSM and needs to be studied intently. People need to do PhDs and long-term studies on this new condition. But what's so disturbing is people just lap up whatever MSNBC tell them, whatever The View tell them, and just take it as fact. And it's so disturbing because people are allowing it to affect their regular, everyday lives. Major life decisions are being made as a result of TDS. And one of the decisions that's being made, number one, women deciding to shave their heads. Now, your hair will grow back. But what's more disturbing is women are now deciding to take away their reproductive rights, meaning taking away their ability to reproduce. If that's not taking away reproductive rights, I don't know what is. So women are opting now to have sterilizations as a result of Trump's win. And let's not forget the 4B movement. The original movement started in South Korea, and it's based on the 4 no's. No sex, no giving birth, no dating men, and no marrying men. And now women in America are adopting this movement because Trump won the election. All these movements tell me is that women certainly have autonomy over their bodies. They certainly are able to decide when they have children or not to have children. You're proving that with these movements. Clearly, you have options.
Did anyone else wake up today and delete their dating apps? Like, I'm not just talking like just removing the app. Like, I full on removed myself from Hinge, Bumble. Like, I didn't even think twice about it. There's no way I am letting any man near me for the next few years. I've been happily single for the past 4 years. I can wait another 4 years. I am so happy for women who have loving, supportive, safe men in their life right now, but it is way too scary to try and trust anyone right now because anything can happen. And if you know me, you know one of my biggest fears is being pregnant. God forbid that ever happens over the next few years. So, no dating apps. If you are a man, don't even look at me until, you know what? Ever again.
There is not a single ounce of affection that a man will get out of me after this election. I'm not dating men. I'm not sleeping with men. I'm not talking to men. Y'all lost that privilege.
Just woke up this morning feeling spicy. You guys feel spicy? Because I do. All right. I don't know how to use this thing. Let's see what happens. Is this cutting off hair? I'm going to have to cut it shorter than that. Does it down, right? I think that this is too... it's getting hair. Let's see here. Maybe I got to cut it. Here we go. Have I given up on America? I have. Also given up on coloring this hair because, right? Coloring my hair. Having my hair be long and luxurious. All that shit. Being skinny. Being hot. Being all the things that the patriarchy wants us to be. Because clearly, they don't give a shit about us. And I'm talking to you too. Those of you ladies who have the internalized misogyny required to do what you did. Minorities who are so scared of a woman in power that you'd rather cozy up to the white man just in case some crumbs fall off his plate so that you may eat from them. Yes, scraps. I don't know how to work this thing, but I'm on my way. I'm gonna figure it out. Let's just do some cutting. You know why? Because this is taking too long. Here we go. Short hair we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
In response to all the liberals who are shaving their heads to fight the patriarchy, I just want to make it clear that I have cancer. I'm not stupid.
When it comes down to it, this is just one big tantrum because you didn't get your own way. Because the person who you wanted to win didn't win. Instead of expecting people to vote for somebody just because she's a woman, you need to ask, why did she lose? Why do I want to vote for someone who's part of the current administration that wants to take away women-only spaces, that want to allow boys to compete against your daughters in school, that are trying to erase women, and they don't care? These women are extremely privileged Because their main problem is being upset about who won the election. None of these women are going to be prevented from having an abortion if they want to have one. I don't care where they live. At most, they will have to travel. Guarantee you, they probably live in areas that have abortion laws that are more relaxed than most countries in Europe. Because I doubt these women live in Alabama, for example. And I doubt they care that much about women who live in Alabama and those places. They're just upset that they didn't get their own way. And the only people they're hurting are themselves. None of their rights have been taken away. If you ask them what rights have been taken away from you as a woman, they will not be able to name one, other than to spew misinformation and disinformation. They can write to their state governors if they're so concerned about Roe v. Wade. It's got nothing to do with Trump. The power has gone back to the states. I don't understand why this is so difficult to grasp. And that was something that both parties actually were happy with at one point, until they decided to use it to score points and to deceive people and manipulate people to the point where they're taking away their reproductive rights, to take away the option of having children later down the line. And if you were so against having children, and this was so important to you, sterilization was always an option. Contraception is an option. Various forms. Abstinence is an option. And you're proving that that's a very effective method, because that's what they're adopting now with this 4B movement. All of a sudden, abstinence is a possibility for them. Funny that.
You know, I'm hearing talk of this 4B movement because Trump won the presidency, right? My thing is this. Oh no, shiver me timbers. You know what's so crazy? We've gone so far left that we've come back around right. Isn't that crazy? Women are saying, you know what? We're not going to have sex with any of you anymore until you treat us with respect. Let me get this straight. You had to have a woman lose the presidency for you to stop sleeping with men unless they show you respect? Is that not hilarious to you? We're not going to have sex with any men until y'all start treating us like human beings. Y'all was sleeping with men that wasn't treating you like human beings?
So it appears that women wanting to sterilize themselves after Trump's election win is a real thing.
First, they were shaving their heads, an outrage over President-elect Trump's win over Vice President Kamala Harris. But now, listen to this. Women are getting sterilized after Donald Trump's victory, saying it's their only option. Newsweek spoke to 5 women who have undergone the procedure or plan to do so in the wake of the election. The women say they did it over their fear that the Trump administration will take away their reproductive rights. One told the outlet she felt, quote, the election tied her hands. Emily, I want to delve deeper into that individual who said that. Let's pull this up. This is Newsweek. Last week, a 39-year-old from Washington State, that is very young, who did not want to be named, underwent a bilateral salpingectomy. Hopefully I said that right, in which her fallopian tubes were removed. Quote, I am not happy that I felt forced into a surgery. I did not want to alter my body. I feel like the election tied my hands, forced me to be sterilized. This is horrible. She says, with Trump's victory, we quickly learned my choice to cancel the surgery had been taken away. What does she mean by that?
What? I'm sorry. I view that as the most perverted joke of someone who is totally missing the point. And that is that President Donald Trump actually empowers every single person, that their vote actually counts, that the Roe v. Wade being overturned meant that it restored the power to the people on the individual level, on the state basis. And I wish that that person had used clearly the platform that she was granted and clearly the money that she has to better use, which would be for advocacy, for local elections, for local community work, and for actually educating others rather than totally destroying her body. And when you contrast that with all of the countries who are currently at war, with at Ukraine, with Israel, with Hamas, with so many people who are just barely surviving today, and she has the money to elect to destroy her body and any hope for reproduction for the most insane interpretation of this president who is assuming office. I am shocked, and who I feel the most horrified for and the most sorry for are her parents.
And you can see how this has been turned into some sick obsession. I mean, they had a truck, an abortion truck outside the DNC rally. If that doesn't tell me that the Democrat Party have turned into a death cult, I don't know what does. No one is forcing you to do anything. No one is taking away your rights. Try being forced to cover your face, to not allow an inch of your face to be seen. Try living in those conditions and then come back to me. No one is forcing you to be pregnant. No one is forcing you to bring children into this world. That is up to you, regardless of whether Trump won or not. And there's a huge competition in this country to be the biggest victim. And the focus is all wrong. Because while you're worried about so-called reproductive rights, this current administration, was fixing to strip women of their right to fair and safe sports, of their right to safe spaces, free of males. This administration was perfectly happy to erase women and things that are exclusive to women, that only women can do. We were supposed to downplay those things and now pretend that men can do them too.
Genuine question for all those who are outraged that as an OBGYN, I'm voting Republican this election. Commenting the most vile things to me because as an OBGYN, how could I vote for the party that is taking away a woman's right to choose? Can you please explain to me this? How can you explain that in New York and so many other states, women, and not just those who have federally funded insurance, but all women in many states need to have a 30-day delay period before they can have their sterilization procedure, which means that if a woman is having a repeat C-section and just doesn't get around to signing her sterilization consent form, even if she's 41, even if she has 5 kids, doesn't matter. She cannot have that sterilization procedure at the time of her C-section. I have to go in, perform that whole C-section, see those tubes right there, and cannot take them out because she has to wait that 30 days. So I'm gonna have to put her through a whole other surgery or make her spouse go through a vasectomy when I was right there. And she knows that there's benefit to removing those tubes. It decreases her risk of ovarian cancer. Explain to me how that's okay, how that's not taking away choice from women. Because it would seem to me that the best way to ensure that women don't have to carry a pregnancy to term that they don't want would be to choose not to get pregnant in the first place. And by making sure that they have that delay period so they can't get that sterilization procedure, because let's face it, how many women are going to go back for that second surgery? Not so many. How are you okay with that? How is that choice? I don't see you outraged. And again, don't say federally funded. These are women who have non-federally funded insurance. And don't say just red states. This is New York, one of the most blue states, right? I mean, like, vote for who you want to vote for, but don't shout at me when things are not as black and white as you think that they are.
Always focused on what MSNBC tells them to focus on, rather than the practicality of everyday life, being a woman living in the US. I never hear these feminists talking about giving mothers more support when it comes to juggling work and motherhood, or offering some sort of paid family leave so that mothers can stay at home with their child for at least the first year, like in other countries. I never hear them talk about that. Now, not everybody agrees with that, that's fine. If our tax dollars weren't squandered, maybe there would be enough federal funds to provide paid maternity leave that they can spend time with their new child before going back to work, before putting the child in daycare when they're still a newborn. It all seems to be about death and destruction. I'm going to destroy my body. I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to end the life of my unborn child. That's all it seems to be about with these people. An absolute miserable bunch. And when the economy improves and they have more money in their pocket, they'll still be complaining.
This morning, when I learned that Donald Trump had been elected president for a second time, the first thing I did was have a good long cry. The second thing I did was get on the phone and make a doctor's appointment for a surgical consultation to get my tubes tied. It's something that I've been thinking about doing for a really long time, and I feel like now is the appropriate time to do it before my option to choose that for myself and for my body is stripped away from me. So tomorrow morning at 10:30, I am going into my doctor's office and I am going to ask her to do the surgery. When I was making my appointment, the receptionist mentioned that she saw in my chart that I had been in about 8 months ago for a consultation, and she said, "What's bringing you back? What changed your mind?" And I said, "I feel like now is the right time." And she said, "I completely understand." If having your tubes tied is something that you have been thinking about doing for a while, or you feel like it's right for you, I highly urge you to make the appointment and go get it done before you no longer have the option to do so.
This is an emergency. Please call 911. Jen, how can I help you?
Hi, I'd like to schedule an appointment with Dr.
And are you the subscriber for this coverage?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's this appointment for?
A consultation for sterilization.
Alrighty, I have you scheduled.
If you own a uterus and you live in America, it is the time to start seriously seeking sterilization. If you are done having kids, if you never want kids, if you're not on birth control, I don't care if your partner has a vasectomy, like, it's still imperative that you seek protection for your body. And in my opinion, like, birth control is not enough. And at this point, you need to get it done, and you need to seek it and get on a waiting list and go to whatever doctor you need to go to make it happen now before it's illegal. And, like, it's a non-negotiable if you are serious about, like, not having kids. America is no longer a safe place to have a child. It is no longer a safe place to be pregnant or become a mother. It is no longer a place that we have reproductive freedoms. And I cannot stress enough how much relief that I have because I got my tubes out like 3 years ago. I have no kids. And it was one of the hardest things I had to fight for over a decade. And I really feel like it is one of the only things bringing me any kind of sense of peace after the news that we have this morning.
Wow. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. I think these women need to seek help. And I'm being serious. Go and talk to someone, because it really is not that serious. But the media, MSNBC, The View, CNN, they have done a real number on people. They really have. And it's really sad to see. So please don't listen to these women. Don't go and get your tubes tied because you don't like who won the election, or you don't like what happened with Roe v. Wade. Like, I think the 4B movement, at least that's not them destroying themselves, and they're actually gonna probably make better decisions as a result of that movement. So I have no problem with that. I don't think you should compare yourselves to the women in South Korea, though, the original movement. I think that's a bit rich doing that. Again, these are women who come across very privileged because their biggest problem is who won the election. But at least the 4B movement doesn't involve taking away your reproductive rights, because that's exactly what you're doing when you decide you want to sterilize yourself because you don't like Trump. Now, if that's something that you've been thinking of doing, you know, that's different. But if you're doing it as a reaction to who won the election, you need to turn off the TV, you need to go outside, get some fresh air, touch some grass, and put things into perspective. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.